Hey mums, how are you feeling? Have you got small children? Are you feeling stressed and tired and overwhelmed? My name is Amanda Clare and I offer coaching for mothers who are feeling tired and stressed to regain their confidence and get their energy back so they can feel powerful and strong, confident as parents. In this video, I'm going to address some of the challenges that we face as mothers bringing up small children and how important it is and the value of supporting ourselves so that we can do that job. What does it feel like to feel overwhelmed and exhausted? Well, it can feel like you might cry at any moment at the smallest thing, or you're super sensitive to what other people say and do around you. You might even be feeling like a bit irritable and cranky with other people, even with yourself, or possibly even with your children when they're being challenging. Ever since you gave birth to your children, it's been non-stop, right? And it's really hard to get that space and time to really have a look at where you are and how you're truly feeling about your whole parenting journey and what you're doing so far and what you're getting right and what you're struggling with. And it can be hard to find that space for yourself to really get a picture of how you're doing and how you're feeling, and get clear about your own emotions. It can be very difficult to prioritise your own self-care, and this is so essential. You're probably being encouraged to do that, have a hot bath or sleep, make sure you go to bed early, but it can be really, and eat right and exercise and do all those things. We all know that, but it can be really hard. It can feel very difficult to prioritise that, even though you know it makes sense, when you're putting your family's needs first. Your young children, or maybe even your older children, and possibly even other people in your family, it can feel difficult to say, no, I'm going to make this space for myself now and really prioritise my own energy, my own kind of feelings about myself, and prepare myself for my day. It can be a real challenge to get that time and prepare that and prioritise that for yourself. And there is loads of parenting advice out there as well. So if you're feeling tired and exhausted, and you've got some challenges, we all have challenges when we're bringing up kids. It can be, sometimes you're not sure the best way to do something. And there's loads of advice out there. There's been, it covers every stage of childhood development. And there's 1,000 different styles of parenting approaches as well. But what there seems to be a lack of is real solid advice and support for you and how you feel and what you're bringing to your day, what you're bringing to yourself, what you're bringing to your family, and the way that you're parenting and being with your children. It can be, so all that advice out there is focusing on the child, and it can be hard to live up to certain protocols or methods or approaches if you're feeling completely drained and exhausted yourself. You can try it for a while and things may not work because you are the source of energy in your family. You are the linchpin in your family. You are holding it all together. And so it's the energy that you bring to any of the approaches that you're doing that will make the difference and make things feel right. So do you recognise that feeling of like, stop the world, I just want to get off for a moment and just get a chance to catch up and just get back on top, and then everything will be all right. Or alternatively, like, oh, after 8 weeks it will be fine, or after, when the baby's not breastfeeding anymore, I'll feel better, or when they're sleeping through the night, or there's cycles and stages in child development, and they're important in the way that you approach things as a parent. But that feeling of, I'll just get to this next stage, I'll just get to this next bit, is a kind of cycle that we fool ourselves into, that it's going to get better, whilst we're not actually changing what we're doing to increase our own energy and our own ability to deal with the challenges of our day. And so this pushes us into a situation where if we don't stop for a moment and take stock of where we are and understand what we need to do to harness our own energy and support ourselves, we're going to be pushing this survival mode, on into the future. Because it doesn't, you have to create the space to stop and take stock of where you are and support yourself. And that being in that survival state is stressful. It feels bad to be in that place. You know, you feel tired and exhausted and sensitive and emotional. It can lead, in the long term, if it carries on, you can start to feel anxious, you can start to feel depressed and isolate yourself more and more. And this can then lead to really a difficult situation when you're trying to give all your love and energy to your family. Your body has been through a lot, through pregnancy and labour and giving birth, and then breastfeeding if you breastfed your baby, or more than one baby. You've been through a lot, your body has been through a lot, and if you're still depleted and low on energy, then this can lead to much longer term problems. It will lower your immune system. Your cortisol in your body, your hormone cortisol in your body starts to be raised, and that can lower your immune system, making you vulnerable to coughs and colds and maybe even more serious illnesses in the long term. But really, the biggest kind of consideration, if you are approaching your parenting and you're investing all your energy into your family, which is absolutely understandable, that's what you want to do as a mother. But if you're not taking that time to support yourself and help yourself to have good energy to pass on to your children, you're in that fear state. Everything seems worrying. You're not sure if you're getting it right. You're not sure who to turn to. You're not sure how to really share your feelings and your experiences with other people. Other mothers can seem like they're doing much better than you, and that can make you feel worse, like I'm failing as a mother. That's a very common and unpleasant feeling, because it's the thing that you want to do best in your life, is give everything you've got to your child. But if you're in this state where this is what's fueling your energy of worry and fear and over emotional sensitivity, you're vulnerable. And your child will start to recognise this, and they will start to expect that behaviour from you, and they will actually start to mimic that behaviour as well. Mirror neurons in our brain mean that our children are copying the way that we behave, the way that we act. So it doesn't really, that putting the focus on the style of parenting is helpful, but it's the way that we are within ourselves that is really having the highest impact, the most profound impact on our families and on our children. And that's why it's so important to find the space and the time and the tools you need to bring your energy back to you, so you can be the best mum that you can be and give the best to your children, because they really, really need you. So why am I here talking about this? So it might seem like a fairly bleak picture, and the reason I'm describing it this way is because I've been there. I'm the mother of 3 children, and I had always wanted to be a mum. I had a great first pregnancy. I looked after myself well. I ate well. I did yoga, all that stuff. And I felt that from the moment I went into labour, I was sort of thrown into kind of a shock state in a way. And this sort of didn't end. So I gave birth to my baby, and there were ups and downs with that. But I felt that I was totally unprepared for the reality of suddenly being in a completely new identity, a completely new world. I was completely in love with my baby, but I felt like I was becoming like a husk, and there was no time for me to gather my resources and feel like I was capable. I was doing it, and I was determined to prove myself, but this actually made it worse. It made it hard for people to help me, and I didn't have confidence. I was overlaying the fact that I didn't have confidence with a determination to do it all myself, and it was grinding me down, and I actually didn't even realise it. I didn't even really know that was the path that I was on, partly because I just had the expectation that to be a mother you just had to do it. You just had to leap in and deal with the lack of sleep and get through the breastfeeding. Well, I mean, I enjoyed breastfeeding, but get into it and deal with whatever comes your way because you're prepared to do it. But I didn't see the signs that I was grinding myself down into the ground, which in the long run was not going to support my child. I then went on to have a second baby and a third baby, and everyone was healthy and fine. It was great. But this pattern I was in of not supporting myself inevitably led to me becoming more and more depleted, more and more emotionally sensitive. I get to the point where on most mornings I would burst into tears when my partner left the house, and I felt it was harder and harder to socialise with other mothers and get that support as well. I was looking to improve my own health and my own body. I came across some approaches that were actually to do very simple basic steps to do with energy, to do with breathing, to do with being present in your mind, and alongside some health practices as well, like becoming more hydrated and getting your minerals back in your body and alkalizing, all those kind of things as well. But what was so profound to me was that I took on a few really simple actions every day. They were really simple, they were totally free to do, they're basic, and totally shifted my energy. It shifted my mindset. I suddenly found that instead of being a mother who was highly stressed out, incredibly emotionally sensitive, and was losing my temper, I was getting irritable and cross with my children, which was a horrible feeling. I suddenly found within a few days of doing some really simple techniques, I was calm. I was able to deal with any kind of ups and downs of the kind of emotions of three small children. And I felt energized in my body, I felt capable, my ideas started flowing, creativity started coming back to me, I felt more connected to the world around me, I felt more grateful for the people offering support to me, and I felt like reaching out to other people. So it's up to us as mothers to take responsibility, to value ourselves, to value our own energy and what we can bring, what we can harness within ourselves, to replenish our energy, to replenish our bodies, to give ourselves the best positive start in the day, to get clear in our minds, to become present and focused and passionate so that we can offer that to our children no matter what our family looks like, no matter what our approaching style is. Every family situation is different, but it's up to us to take responsibility for ourselves and replenishing our energy so that we can offer the best version of ourselves to our family. So this is what coaching can do. This is the opportunity, is, you can change those symptoms of feeling exhausted, emotional, overwhelmed. These can all be improved upon. It's not a miracle cure. It's not going to change everything overnight, but it can make a profound shift. You can start to feel energized, you can start to feel clear and light and passionate and like you're ready to take on the day and excited to do it. How can we make this shift? Well, the first step is to create that space and time for yourself to recognize everything that you've gone through already. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing journey becoming a mother. Recognizing that journey, honoring that journey, and realizing, how am I feeling? How am I doing? And if I stay on the path that I'm on, where is it taking me? And trying to have a look at and get that clarity about what do I want and what do I need. It's such an important step to make. And then there are some really simple steps that you can take and build upon, that things that you can put into your day seamlessly, that don't take a lot of time out of your busy life, because you're super busy as a mum, and can start to just shift your energy levels, shift your mindset, shift the way that you see and feel about things. That's how you start to support yourself, and you get the foundations of having good energy, feeling confident, and that foundation is something that you take with you for life. It will change the course of your life, the path that you're headed on. If you take that energy with you, if you take those steps, it can shift the future that you're moving towards. As I mentioned before, there are so many cycles. You think you've got one phase sorted, like, oh, I know what I'm doing now, this is cool, I've got it all down, and then everything changes. Your child's needs change, or something else happens. So you have to have that energy to be adaptable. You have to have that centeredness in yourself and focus and clarity to see, okay, well that was working, now we've got to shift and I can still do it, and it doesn't feel overwhelming because you've got yourself, you've got your energy, and you've got the resources to be able to do what you've got to do. So the reason that I'm making this video is because what I want to offer to you, if you resonate with what I'm saying, if you feel like you're doing okay, but honestly you could do with feeling better, and you know that there are ways, you know that you could have improvements in how you feel about yourself, and you recognise the value of what that would give you and your family, then what I'm offering to you is a one-to-one coaching call, just a one-off call to get to grips with that feeling, to understand where you are, to honour what you've been through already, to get an idea of where your areas of struggle are and what you can do about it so that you can start to address them directly. To take simple steps, I'll offer you some really simple steps that you could seamlessly put into your day so that you can increase your energy and build up your confidence. And most highest value also is to recognise the strengths that you already bring as a mother, because you're already awesome. I know that you are, because you've been through pregnancy, you've been through labour and birth, you've already dedicated yourself to your child. Mothers have this incredible power and energy. It's so important, it's so valuable. So I already know that you've got that. And it's really important for you to recognise that inside yourself, and where is that showing in your life, and how can we really honour and celebrate what you've already done as a mother. It's so important. So what I'm offering is a one-off call via Skype, and following up after that 3 emails over the next month, so that you can reach out for further support if you need that. The cost of the call would be £80. It lasts for an hour or just over an hour, hour and 15 minutes, according to the individual. And the cost of that is £80, which is comparable to going to buy some new shoes for the winter, or getting your latest hairdo, or getting a new coat, or going to have a massage, which are all valuable treats for mothers. But I encourage you to see this as a much greater investment. Even though it's a one-off call, it's a real investment into understanding where you are and getting some foundations ready to really build your confidence and move forward in your life with new energy and new possibilities. Now you're still here with me on this video, you've listened to everything that I've had to say. If it's speaking to you, and if you feel that this is something that's going to offer real value to you, it's something that you feel that you can go for, then it makes sense. You're here now. You might not ever come back to this video if you've got young children. Your life is super busy. So there's nothing more valuable that you can give to your children than the energy that you have. It's the first thing that children react to. And this is absolutely for free. There's no cost to you. There's no risk involved. It's just getting that 1 hour or hour and 15 minutes so that you can focus entirely on how